have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cut to the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, Literal COVID Apocalypse Edition. I'm Ben, I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Gaz.
Hello.
We're recording on Skype, we're here, we're going to do a movie episode and we're going to talk about the 1990 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And I watched it for the first time this week since 1990, I think, when I went to the cinema to watch
me
it.
Too.
Wow. I can't wait to hear what you think. One very quick question. Now, I should have checked this before we fucking... Did you watch the one that had nunchucks in it?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because this movie was heavily censored for us delicate Brits back then.
Oh, fucking hell.
No way.
Well, remember in the cartoon, they got rid of Mikey's nunchucks in about season 3, and he had a grappling hook.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Which is more violent, if you think about
And
it.
remember that the Ninja Turtles were called the Hero Turtles in
They were, yes, in the UK,
reason,
yeah.
Our government thought that ninjas were just too much for our little British minds, and nunchucks were not even allowed in like cinema movies.
Wow.
Seriously?
Which Bruce Lee movie is it where he does a fucking awesome nunchuck scene?
Oh, fuck knows.
I think it's Enter the Dragon. Yeah, in the yellow suit. But anyway, that was fucking cut and stuff and censored in the UK. For some reason, our government hated nunchucks and ninjas.
Unbelievable.
Do you think it's because of the Second World War and like British troops being killed by ninjas?
Don't know. I just thought we were pussies or something. I don't know. But,
It's just sad old men that don't want anyone else to have any fun. That's the problem.
So they don't appreciate the coolness of the nunchuck.
No. So anyway, so we've established you watched the proper version, which is good.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, wow. I have several different versions of the DVD and... No, I don't have Blu-ray of this one, no. But I have a box set of all three of them, and I have it in a nice special edition. I like this film.
I guessed you would. Okay, well, before we get into that, let's thank some new and returning listeners. Mike, so you have the new and returning listeners. Excuse me, it's been 21 degrees in the UK, and I have had a few beers in the garden this afternoon.
Fair play.
It's my last day off work.
Apparently it's been hotter than Ibiza here, hasn't it?
Well, tell that to the neighbours. They saw me nude sunbathing.
Okay, what we got? Louisville, Kentucky, Telford, UK, Edinburgh, UK, Beirut, Lebanon, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Cartago, Costa Rica, Valencia, California, Iran, Algeria, Norrköping, Sweden, North Richmond Hills, Texas, Omaha, New England, New Cross, UK, top 3, Nairobi, Kenya.
Nairobi, Kenya, top 3?
Smashing it into the top 3.
Oh,
God,
we're big in Kenya.
Desperately resisting the urge to do the accent.
Yeah, because you only have one accent, Gaz, and it's Wakandan.
Wakanda forever!
There you go. You did it anyway.
Number 2, Spain, Madrid, and number 1, Porterville, Missouri.
Wow. Hello to you, Missouri. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Especially Kenya. We're big in Kenya. Wow. We're probably not, because I don't think there's one of us is 6 foot, so we're probably not big in Kenya.
Yeah.
5'11". We're all three of us around about the 5'11", aren't we?
5'11 and a half. Don't forget that half.
No.
Makes all the difference.
Oh, I'm 5'10".
Well,
Short ass.
Still more Aryan, though.
Can't quite cut the mustard.
Still more fascist. Let's move on.
Oh, I dare you say that about your local politician.
Say what I want.
Yeah? How you, as a local politician, how dare you tell him what he can and can't say?
Well, you
Fascist.
know. Well, he's just scum, isn't he? You know. My views don't accurately represent my actual views.
Fuck.
Okay.
My views on the podcast don't represent my actual views. Just throw that out there.
Mhm.
It's all for comedic effect. Weird news?
Yeah.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
All right, I'll start this one. $135.8 million fighter jet accidentally shoots itself and causes 2.5 million in damage.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's AI, isn't it?
No, this is the F-35, which is probably going to be the last piloted by humans and computer
So it
weapon systems.
It didn't shoot itself, did it? The dickhead pilot shot himself.
Yeah, but he kind of counts as being the plane in this scenario.
All right, okay.
Because it's like he's in charge.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Right. So earlier this month, a Marine Corps F-35B Joint Strike Fighter shot itself by mistake during a training mission at the Human Range Complex in Arizona, United States. How did it do this? No one has a clue. Not only is it arguably a tiny bit embarrassing, but the faux pas has caused an eye-watering $2.5 million worth of damage.
Ooh.
Yeah. Adding salt to the wound, the F-35 is reportedly one of the most expensive weapon systems to have ever been built. The whole program is thought to have cost around $1 trillion.
Wow.
Yeah, there's people starving in that country.
And imagine what you could have accomplished with $1 trillion. Just free to spend.
We could end poverty in the country, mate. Easily.
Could have had fucking mech Gundam suits, Mike. Never mind ending poverty.
Yeah, cancelled all student debt, medical debt. Could have done a fucking lot with that. Sent everyone to university. But instead they build fucking useless planes. Well, not useless.
No, they're not useless. They look cool as fuck.
And they're really good at killing people.
They're not useless.
Bombing weddings in Saudi Arabia.
No, that's the drones. Don't blame the plane. That's the drones. The Navy has since branded the ordeal as a Class A accident. Usually someone dies, but apparently the pilot ejected and he didn't. He went physically unharmed and managed to safely land the jet like a badass.
Wow.
But still, he shot himself
Yeah.
in a jet fighter. That's awesome.
Fucking hell. Well, I bet he got a bit of a bollocking, didn't he?
The father of Fauci's
Oh,
the
shit.
father of the actual virus. Fauci's
Thank
Why,
God that wasn't the last porno you were watching.
No, it was not. Oh, shit, he won't shut up.
Redfield at the Centers for
There we go. Sorry. That was an article on my phone starting up for the next one.
Disease Control.
Oh, it's still going.
You fucking idiot.
Fucking comedy of errors.
It is, sorry. Oh, man. I am a fucking Luddite, though, you know that.
Yeah, we.
I've recently smashed a mill.
Mill.
A mill, yeah.
That's what they did, wasn't it? They smashed all the looms and the mills.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Oh, that was a historical joke.
it was.
Probably about 0.1% of our listenership will get.
Well, the guys in Nairobi won't get it.
Well, only 2/3 of the hosting team knew what it was about.
It's not my fault, Mike. I'm pitching my historical jokes too high.
Too lofty.
Oh, next one then. Should we do the next weird news article?
Yes, it's my turn on Mike, sorry.
Mike, it's Mike up first.
Always Mike, isn't it? Sorry.
Usually, we could swap it around if you like.
Oh, it's me being thick. Sorry, Mike.
No worries. Ex-Trump aide called Fauci father of COVID and suggests he helped China genetically engineer virus.
Wow.
Well, I heard from the director of the CDC, the ex-director that was director at the time of the outbreak, he now thinks that it came from the lab.
Did he personally tell you that, Mike? Because you said, like, oh, I heard from the director of the CDC.
Well, no, I saw it on the news.
It's like, oh, man, I've got to call Mike at this news.
Our podcast is the first to be informed.
It is. I've got to call the guys who cut to the ball.
So anyway, he said that. So
Wow.
it's a possibility, isn't it? Because he said that it was so infectious that he's never seen a virus jump from an animal to a human that is that infectious amongst humans. So it only takes time for the virus to mutate and change and get used to being in a different body than the animal it's used to.
All right, I agree that this COVID is like a really infectious disease and everything, and it is infectious. It goes through people like wildfire. But I don't think it's as deadly as they say. It's got a 1.9% mortality rate, and it seems to be people who have underlying conditions that die, and I think that just represents how unhealthy we are as a society.
I maintain, let the vulnerable shield. For as
Hold
long
on.
as they feel they have.
We're getting an echo from you, Gaz.
I don't think that's on my end. Somebody must have
Okay, it's stopped now. It's stopped now. So it must have been me then on my end, but it stopped. Go on.
I don't know what I was on about.
Oh, shit. Sorry, buddy.
Don't mate. Move on.
Okay, a former aide of Donald Trump has blamed Dr. Fauci for the pandemic, labelling COVID-19 as the Fauci virus and suggesting the infectious disease expert was involved with China in genetically engineering the infection that has claimed millions of lives worldwide. I'd say it was pretty deadly, Ben.
It's deadly, but if you've got an underlying health condition, it's even more deadly. But we have like a really unhealthy population, same as America. That's why Britain and America have had the highest fatality rate.
Yeah. We are an unhealthy society. There's no arguing that.
You know, the Europeans, the Japanese, the Koreans, they've had a lot less fatalities than us because of their diet and their health is better. We're a completely unhealthy society. And that's why we got so many people with underlying health conditions. That's why it's fucked them.
Yeah, but we could be sitting here with the same fatalities as New Zealand, which is about 25, isn't it?
We could, and I fully agree with that as well, that the precautions were not taken. You know,
Precautions not taken. It has to be said that people were going to die.
Yes, he did. I remember that.
And said that your loved ones will die early because I'm choosing not to do anything.
He said we're going to take it on the chin, Mike. Take it on the chin.
And then he called it himself a cunt. And almost died.
And what did he do? He took it on the chin.
Exactly.
He almost died. He went into intensive care for days.
Yeah.
He's Boris. You're going to shrug it off, buddy.
Oh, fuck. I hope the cunt's impotent now.
I doubt it, mate. He's fucking just had a 4-year affair. Before knocking that bird up who's with now. So no, he's not. He's very potent.
Bless him.
That's pretty much it. He thinks that obviously he's colluding with China.
Yeah, apparently with American taxpayer dollars.
Well, that's what them dollars are for.
Well, if you're not drone striking weddings in Yemen, what are you doing with it?
Exactly.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, let's do that. Gaz, this is picked for you, and one of my favourite recurring characters over the course of the 3 years we've been doing this shit. Yeah, go on. Old listeners will know our feelings towards this man.
And finally, Uri Geller urges you to use mind power at exactly 11:11 to shift the Suez Canal ship.
No, fuck you, Uri Geller, because nothing is going to happen.
But didn't it get freed?
It did recently, but that was not through Uri Geller's mind power.
Can you empirically prove that?
Probably.
Okay, right. Well, he's got a decent track record. The spoon bender reckons tabletop readers could dislodge the stricken ship blocking the canal by using their minds. The veteran psychic has called for people to help him bend the 200,000-ton vessel and set it free. An operation maritime experts say could take weeks using conventional methods. He wants everyone to visualize the ship moving at 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. on Saturday.
Why those specific times?
Because he's a prick. Attention-seeking bellend is what he is, Mike. The 74-year-old said, "We can do this with mind power energy. It is possible to move the ship. Let's go for this."
No, it's not.
He looks fucking good for 74.
Well, yeah, he's fucking loaded. That's why, from spilling shit like this.
Well, Yuri says, collective brain power, pronouns pal, can shift the container giant ever given. In a video message to readers, he said, "Billions of dollars are lost every day from other ships trying to cross. We are going to believe in ourselves. We will try this. I believe in your powers. We're going to try to move it with our minds."
Yeah.
I don't need to read the rest of this. He didn't fucking move it with his mind. Fucking tugboats and diggers, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Tugboats, diggers, and engineering. I did like that meme that was going round. You know who Fred Dibner is, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was something like 3 workmen, a couple of diggers, and 20 woodbine. Fred Dibner would have had that out a week last Thursday.
For the listeners who don't know who Fred Dibner is.
Fred Dibner. You should probably spell his surname because it's hard to... Dibnah, I think, isn't it? But basically, yeah, just like an old-fashioned... everything, really. An engineer, an architect, a steeplechase.
Was he a demolitions expert as well?
He did everything, mate. He rebuilt steamroller engines. He's just a fucking a dead breed. They don't exist no more. Yeah. Men like him. But anyway, yeah, look him up, listener. If you've never heard of him and you like a bit of man stuff, like not porn.
It's porn for some people, Gaz. Fred Dibner blowing up a chimney. It's porn for some people.
The other type of man stuff, engineering, that kind of thing.
Moving on.
Ninja Turtle.
Ninja Turtles. So, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtle, or Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
the original title, of course. 1990. 6.8 on IMDb.
That's an incredibly high score for IMDb.
Yeah, that's a decent score, isn't it, on IMDb?
Anything over 5 is a good score, basically. And then you can consider anything like in the 6s and 7s and 8s as like a great score, in my opinion.
I'd say 6 and above was decent. 7s and 8s are like the really good films. Yeah, they're all different, but yeah.
Feel that if there was a little bit less slow-mo, it could have easily been 3 hours long. Fuck me. That man loves slow motion and big, heavy sounds while it's going slow. But yeah, I fucking loved it. Pissed all over the 2-hour version. Completely different film. Different tone, different everything. Batman was bad.
Completely different movie. Movie.
Worth a go, Mike, if you can find it online.
Yeah.
Did you watch the original one?
I did, actually. I did.
Mike said he liked that movie.
I said it was all right, actually. I thought it was all right.
So this one is that with all the shit comedy taken out and lots more explanation and backstory, and all of a sudden Cyborg is the most interesting character you've ever seen. And he says booyah in the first cut. That's basically it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all he says, yeah.
In this one, he's like the most important person on Earth besides Superman, I suppose, and Batman, I guess. He's up there. Anyway.
It just adds more backstory to everybody.
It does, yeah. But
and gives everyone something to do.
Fuck punts like fucking Batman and Cyborg. We're here to talk about fucking hardcore Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Guys, I'll have you know that Batman has, for a matter of record, beaten the fuck out of all 4 Ninja Turtles at the same time.
I've seen that movie and it made me fucking angry. Leo got his own back on him in training later in the film. I was like, that is some bullshit. Or like, if we go forward like 10 years and they're not 15 anymore and they're 25, they'd fucking cut his stupid little human fucking head off.
Outside, Batman is the most skilled martial artist in the DC universe, mate. I'm sorry, it's...
Yeah, but the Turtles aren't in the DC universe. He's not much... Shredder kicked the fuck out of him. What do you think?
Only because he used that chi attack.
What the fuck do you think Splinter would have done to him? Fuck Batman. Anyway.
Well, in this movie, Splinter's just a fucking rat that copied his master.
Yeah, it's probably because it was 1990, Ben, and like they didn't have the capabilities of making a rat do kung fu.
Well, this film was the second highest grossing independent film of all time. It was the 9th highest grossing film worldwide of 1990 and the most successful film in the series until the 2014 reboot. Not bad going.
No. Did you notice what's the very opening shot of the movie?
Tell us.
Literally the opening shot. The World Trade Center.
Oh, it was? Yes.
Yeah.
I love the way this film starts.
I actually really like the way this film was filmed.
Well, it gets a lot of shit for that, but they didn't have a choice. They had to be shot as darkly as possible because they're fucking rubber suits.
Yeah, they didn't have a very high budget either, only $13.5 million, which for 1990 wasn't great.
If you brightly light these things, they're just going to look so much less convincing. And plus, the original comic was dark. It was dark and gritty. And the cartoon is a complete bastard. The cartoon is its own thing that was created to sell toys, and it worked. It worked on all of us, didn't it? The original comic book is full of murder and darkness and shadows.
See, I've never read the comics, but I've seen the cartoon. I used to love the cartoon.
Oh, me. Who was your favourite, Mike?
Probably Donatello.
I knew you were going to say that.
He was a science guy.
Yeah, and mine was Mikey, because he was a party dude. Let me guess, Ben, you wanted to be Leo, the leader.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Of course you fucking did.
So, in a way, the Turtles basically just programmed us for roles in society.
Yeah.
And of course, Donatello had the best weapon.
Well, the staff.
Yeah.
On all the classic, which are ultimate classic arcade games, the Turtles games, which arcade fans will know are up there with the best of the best. Donnie was always your best choice because he had much longer reach.
That's it. They can't get near you.
But then a sword, though. A sword's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sword second, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 swords, though.
I think swords. I still have a stick, mate. You got the reach.
But I've got a straight lunge. You could beat that stick every time.
Fuck that. Just tap you on the head, mate, and you'll lose balance and you're on the floor.
Oh, right. Okay, well, tell you what, Mike, I'll meet you at dawn. You bring your stick and I'll bring 2 swords. And let's see how this goes down.
All right, then.
See, I know I'll win because Mike will never get up at dawn.
Can I just say
I'll still be up at dawn. So that'll be fine.
You'll be tired.
I've got the movie running in the background, and it's just got to the bit. You know, the police commissioner who's got the most wonderful New York accent.
Oh, yeah.
It cuts to him having a go at April in the off, and he's like, "Busting my chops."
Yeah, so in the beginning of the film, April O'Neil is seen doing a newscast on the sudden wave of crimes. A newscast.
Right.
It is reported that these robberies of all kinds are happening suddenly and without warning and without witnesses. She also notes that most witnesses only catch a glimpse of the robber, who seems to be a teenager all the time.
Yes.
The ninja crime wave.
Oh.
As April leaves the Channel 3 news building, she's attacked by a group of the juveniles after witnessing them stealing equipment. Raphael's sigh is then thrown into the streetlight. This is the first introduction we get to the Turtles.
I love how you don't see them. I mean, this is purely for budgetary reasons. This isn't like cinema making reasons. This is like, yeah, we'll do this scene in the dark and just play some sounds, but it worked.
Yeah, we used to see a green hand throw a sigh, which throws in the streetlight, and then the 4 turtles defeat and tie up the attackers, saving April, and they return the sewers just as the NYPD arrive. But Raphael forgets to retrieve his sigh, which he does not like. April puts it in her purse, interfering with the crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't let that get in the way of a good story, Ben. Clue to this ninja crime wave.
Ninja crime wave. You need ninjas to defeat it, clearly.
Yeah.
The turtles are then seen walking home through the sewers, celebrating their victory. They meet with Splinter to discuss the outcome of their first fight on the surface. So this is like their first ever battle.
Yeah.
And they've trounced it. But while like Splinter's there going, be a ninja, don't be seen, meditate on the events of the evening, Michelangelo's ordering pizza, and then they just start dancing. Yeah, the tequila.
Tune.
Yeah.
But Raphael, because he's a moody bastard, is disgusted.
Can you remember how you felt? Because I was obsessed with the cartoon and the toys. Do you remember how you felt when you first saw them like this, live action? Like when they're revealed finally, it's like, holy fuck.
I wish I did, mate. I wish I did, but I can't.
I mean, I guess it would be just me thinking. I won't be able to remember, but I know it blew my fucking face off. I remember before I'd seen it, staring at pictures in the newspaper and stuff, like promo stuff, just staring at it like, how have they done this?
I remember the cartoon more than the film, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Oh, man. I was obsessed with this movie. I had a pirated copy. I was very lucky as a 10-year-old in the UK to have a pirated copy of this on VHS from way on at our cinemas, because I was such an obsessive. My dad sourced it through somebody at work.
Let's just go through a second what it takes to get a pirated copy in 1990.
Exactly. Well,
it means that someone literally went to the cinema with a video recorder.
No.
Camcorder.
No, because it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I think it's literally somewhere along the chain, somebody makes a VHS copy of the film print somehow. Somebody in the studio, somebody like that, just trying to be dodgy.
Yeah, or in the distribution. Probably more like in the distribution.
And then that spreads around the world like back then. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but yeah, it would have been like 91, I think. Yeah, and it was I had it on a VHS from one of my dad's mates at work. Come on.
Wow.
Yay for piracy.
Yeah.
So Raphael is disgusted at the immaturity of his brothers, and he goes off alone to see a movie, Critters.
He's always going off on his own, Raph. Every film he does this.
Yeah. After the film, he witnesses a couple of perch snatchers and intervenes. Their one look at his one remaining size sends the would-be crooks running, and they escaped in the local park where they're ambushed by Casey Jones. Is he for the film or what? I don't remember him in the comics.
He's from
in the animation.
He's from the comic books. He was 100% in the toy line. I cannot remember if he was in the actual cartoon, but he definitely was in the toy line because I had the figure, and it came with the golf bag, golf clubs, and everything. And he was in the comics.
He's a pretty cool character, in all fairness. I mean, he's got the baseball bat, he's got a hockey stick, he's got the hockey mask, he's got a golf club. I
don't think they mention it in the movie Or maybe they do. No, I think him and Ape will have a conversation about it. But he's like kind of like a failed hockey player, isn't he? I think through in something like that.
Honestly, don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's where the hockey mask comes from, and the But he's just a bad as fuck vigilante, basically. He's just out there looking for twats to hit with his twat bat.
Yeah, and to be fair, he does kind of beat up Raphael.
He does with a cricket bat. Cricket.
Yeah. Oh, a cricket bat. Yeah, of course. The cricket bat. Let's face it. The cricket bat is superior to like a baseball bat. Let's face it.
I've often thought fantasized, if I was a professional wrestler in the WWE, obviously they'd make a thing of me being British, and I would not wield the traditional baseball bat. I would cave people's heads in with a cricket bat. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What would your name be, though?
Oh, I've got my character. I've had my character for years, mate. The educated. Backstory is I'm a football hooligan with a bit of natural intelligence who was cherry-picked to go to a posh university. Got the education, but then decided he wanted to go back to the streets, but he didn't find fulfillment there, so then entered the field of professional fighting.
Where does a cricket bat come into that?
Because I'm an hooligan, innit? I fucking cave your skull in.
Yeah, like when he's losing, he'll grab the cricket bat from the ring.
Hey, listen, I studied on the streets and in college, so I'll leave gaps in your teeth, but not...
Oh.
So you're a football hooligan, so I just wondered where the cricket bat came from.
Football hooligan. I'm sorry.
Can't you be a cricket hooligan?
When football violence was happening, they were like, "Oh, we can only use football-related items." Quick! I'm armed with a shin pad.
I think you should have been a cricket hooligan.
No, it makes perfect sense, Mike. You're overthinking it.
I know. I'm just being pedantic for the sake of it. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. My idea survives your scrutiny.
So I like to think that, like, also the educated hooligan would use a cricket stump to the eye.
Yeah, he can, and he'd look cool as fuck because nobody in America dresses like that.
Yeah,
Fed Perry shirt, all that stuff.
A croquet stick.
You look cool as fuck. You work, the educated hooligan.
I love it.
Anyway,
back to the movie. So Raphael returns home that night after being called a freak by Casey. He runs into Splinter, who then discusses Raphael's anger with him and tells him not to alienate himself from his brothers.
And listen, if I do impressions of Splinter, it's not racist because the bloke who played Splinter wasn't Japanese. He's a black fella.
Well, okay, but I just always think he used that as an excuse.
No. What do you think of Splinter in this movie?
He was all right. You could tell he was a Jim Henson puppet, though, couldn't you?
They did get better at it. Well, while we're on Jim Henson, do you know how their faces work?
I don't.
With a hand?
Complex as shit, mate. This is so advanced for its time. It's a dude in a suit with a robotic, incredibly heavy robotic head on, which is all those expressions are radio controlled by like 2 or 3 guys sitting there with this bank of computer equipment. Remember, it was 1990 and these giant levers and shit. So it's all a coordinated thing between the stunt performer within the suit doing the moves and the body language, and then the guy with this big complex array of fucking levers and things, like one's for the eyebrow, one's for the left top lip, one's for the right top lip, one's for the bottom, all that. Like, trying to match it to the body language and get this like cohesive performance, which is like brought together through like puppetry, robotics, stunt performance, like costume making, everything. It's a fucking marvel, mate.
Yeah.
Of fucking movie making.
I thought the adult Splinter was good, but I thought the Splinter when he was just a rat, that was a bit bad when he attacked him, innit?
Yeah.
That was a bit dodgy.
Thank you though, mate.
Hey?
It wouldn't have been in 1990 though.
That's true, yeah.
No CGI.
No,
I mean, this is 1990. Terminator 2, 91?
Yeah.
Obviously had a massive, huge budget compared to this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not saying CGI didn't exist, but it's
Oh,
certainly
yeah,
wasn't.
no. The effects for this are great. I love the effects in this. I think it's really well filmed.
All practical. What I love is just the fact that it's this You have to have a look online. There is behind the scenes stuff. You will not believe the bank of shit, just the giant machinery that involved just to make these faces move.
Wow.
Or radio control. And there's funny stories about like the guys in the suits, them like say the radio, because it's radio controlled, they'd start picking up like local taxi services and stuff coming in through the in the middle of scenes and that. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, fucking awesome.
So in the morning, April is seen in her apartment with her boss, Charles Pennington. I never quite got the feeling, are they together or not?
No, I get the impression it's kind of a fatherly, daughterly kind of. He definitely cares about her, but I don't think it's sexual.
Right. So she's telling him about her attack on the previous night. And after an interview with the NYPD Chief Stearns on TV, Raphael follows her into the subway to retrieve his missing Psy. But the Shredder had already sent several members of the Foot to silence April. So this is where we encounter the Foot and Shredder now in this part of the movie.
Shredder looks badass.
He does look good in this film, yeah. Yeah. The Foot for this is in our cartoon in the UK, I think. Probably in America too. They were androids, weren't they?
Yes. Now, I'll take this opportunity. Do you know why they're called the Foot Clan?
Because it was something to do with the Hand Clan already existed.
Daredevil. Well, the entire
That's it,
thing.
Daredevil, the Hand, yeah.
Now, this is fact, like the creators have said this, Eastman and Laird. This was a direct response to Frank Miller's Daredevil in the 80s. He was doing a very dark, violent run on Daredevil, which is all about ninjas and the Hand. And
Pretty much
what
where
was
they took the series from, innit?
Yeah, yeah. And what is the name of Daredevil's teacher? Stick.
Stick, yeah. Yeah.
Where's Splinter come from?
Ah.
The whole thing was a reaction to like, fucking hell, this guy writes dark ass comics, doesn't he? What if these ninjas were like, I don't know, a turtle? It all started as a piss take of Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. And they had no idea it would turn into one of the world's, has to be one of the world's most profitable and long running franchises. Really, it has to be. Maybe not long running, but profitable.
Yeah, when did the comics start?
Ooh, mid to late 80s. And then it sort of, they were literally two guys living together, Eastman and Laird. They borrowed money to make like 200, like I'm making that number up, but they made a very limited run of like however many they could afford to print. And it just went bang to the point where like, I think something like 10 issues in, they were making deals to sell toys. And then the company that wanted to sell the toys said, no, you need a cartoon on TV so kids know about it. And they then said, but like, it can't be all this dark ninja murder shit. Jesus Christ. Because in the comics, they don't eat pizza. So these like marketing guys were like, oh, we'll give them different color. They all wore the same colored headband in the comic. He's like, oh, we'll give them a character and a different color to denote their character. And they love pizza and they're wacky now. And yeah, boom.
Yeah. Cartoon was 86, wasn't it?
86. Was it that early? 86.
Jesus.
Shit.
I think so.
Comic.
I think we may have got the cartoon after the film.
86, 88, maybe.
In the UK. I think we're talking...
We'd have been at junior school, mate, if you really think about it.
Yeah, but I was 7 years old was the film. We're 7. Me and you guys are 7 when this film comes out. I think that we're going to like... I don't know, like 91, 92. I think we got the cartoon after this.
87 to 96.
So there you go. Think about it, though, because you're thinking with your 2021 head on. Yeah, this film existed before the cartoon, but you wouldn't have had access to it unless you went to the initial cinema release until 2-3 years afterwards. You'd have had 2 or 3 years of TV exposure to the before the home video came out. So
when the home video came out like a year later,
we were already fucking obsessive Turtles fans.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, that all started with me saying that's why the Foot are called the Foot, because it's a piss take of the hand.
Yeah.
But also, I would always recommend watching that Daredevil series on Netflix because it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
And can I ask where Kang is in the film? Because he's in the series, isn't he? He's in the comic books as well.
That's a good question. He appears in the comic books. I believe. I don't know how. I don't know if he appeared much later on, but
I think he's a later character.
He doesn't appear in any of the films.
The first original 3, no. In the modern Michael Bay produced ones, he's in the second one, and he's actually they do a pretty good job of it. He's got a giant robo suit. It's pretty fucking cool, actually. If you can get past the CGI turtles.
Yeah.
The fact that they're now 6 foot tall and hench.
Well, you see, I was going to bring this into is like, how strong are these turtles? Because at the start, in their start fight, they're just smacking the shit out of human teenagers. Or how comparatively strong is a turtle?
Well, I believe they have mutant strength and they're a lot stronger than your average human, and they have their ninja skills. But I think the point of this movie is we're meeting them they're like 13, 14 maybe.
Yeah.
So they're not even fully grown yet. So the biggest turtle, Gaz, was 2.5 meters and 140 stone.
Wow.
Real life turtle, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So they are massive.
Yeah, you got to think of it that way. These, you know what I mean? It's like you and me going out, and there could be a 13-year-old who's really good at like taekwondo, but like the 3 of us could fucking overpower him and murder him, couldn't we?
Yeah, and the armored shell, do you know what that's made of?
Bone?
No.
Yeah, it's 50 bones fused together.
Jesus.
That's awesome.
So they're fucking hard as... If they did have 6 foot turtles, they'd be hard as fuck.
And you know when they do that move where 2 of the turtles, like, you're in between them and they go shell to shell and like, bang, squash you between their shells?
Yeah.
That could like literally... Sure, everything inside.
Yeah, good, yeah. It would, Gaz, that would literally blow apart your fleshy meat sack of a body.
They could. Someone needs to do a dark ass version where they're murdering shit out of people like that. They just take over the world like Dark Superman.
They're still doing this, aren't they? They're still doing the comics. There's the Last Ronin comics. Where there's one turtle left, and the Foot have killed all the brothers apart from one. I'm not going to do a massive spoiler and say who it is, but one turtle's left, and he's like just hell bent on vengeance. And he's got all the weapons and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. I love it. No, sorry. Back to the synopsis. Where are we?
So April being attacked by members of the Foot. She's jumped by Raphael. So he's jumped and Raphael comes to her rescue after retrieving his sai. He then carries April back to the sewers, but did not know he was followed. Now, when April wakes up, she's told the story of the turtles' past by Splinter. And this is their origin story montage, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where Splinter was a rat who watched his master train in ninjutsu, and he copied the moves and therefore became a master in his own right.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the cartoon explanation where he was a man who got mutated into a rat.
Yeah, that does make more sense, in all fairness.
Does it?
It does, yeah, because I was thinking, well, if it was a ninjutsu master who gets this mutagen on him and becomes a rat, then that's fine. But if it's just a rat who starts copying his owner's moves and becomes a master by default and then gets the mutagen on him, I'm not so down with that. I don't think it's a realistic.
You're more realistic of a man turning into a rat.
A rat turning into a man, yes.
The rat doesn't turn into a man; it just turns into a talking giant rat.
But he learns to speak too.
I think that's more believable than a man. Why would a man turn into a rat? We got nothing in common with a rat.
Because he touches the mutagen, then touches a rat, and that's how he becomes a rat.
Is that the explanation?
And why is it mutagen? Because what happens in Daredevil?
Because that truck tips over and spills all the shit into the sewer.
Do you want to hear a little how the 2 series are linked? Even though they're in...
I know, but tell me anyway.
It's the same canister.
It is.
Oh.
And it's all set in New York, ain't it?
It is, yeah, in a shitty part of New York.
Yeah.
So Splinter turns into Splinter.
Yeah.
The rat turns into Splinter, just say. What about the turtles?
he finds the turtles and they're crawling in the stuff, and then he takes them home. He can't leave them there. He names them, and as soon as they start growing, because they start growing at an accelerated rate, he starts training them in ninjutsu.
Yeah, man. I'm just watching the scene where Raph fights the Foot Clan on his own on the roof.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool scene, man. That is a good scene.
Fuck me, these stunt guys are awesome.
April's seen in her apartment with her boss, who tells about her attackers on the previous night. After an interview with these Chief Stearns, Raphael follows her to the subway to retrieve his missing Psy. But the Shredder's already sent several members of the Foot to silence April. She's jumped, and Raph comes to her rescue. I've already done this bit. Do apologise. Casey Jones comes in.
Don't they? That's pretty harsh.
Oh, yeah.
He gets twatted right in the mush.
Yeah. So when April wakes up, she's told the story of the Turtles' past. She's then introduced to Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael, but they've been followed back by a Foot ninja. He was seen peeking into their home like a fucking peeping Tom weirdo with tights over his head and goggle eyes.
That's basically what a ninja is.
Yeah, but this dude looks like they've cut a ping pong ball in half and put either half to his eyes and then put some tights over his head.
Yeah, it was a bit of a daft look, wasn't it?
Just saying. You know?
Wasn't there a fly man in the series? Baxter or something?
Baxter Stockman. He's a scientist.
Yeah.
Mutated into a fly.
Oh, man, I just remember Bebop and Rocksteady, and then didn't they do a crossover with the Street Sharks?
No, I don't. I think the Street Sharks were just a blatant rip-off, weren't they?
I don't know. They may have done a crossover at some point. The Turtles take April home where they have pizza and they just tell jokes, and I all think they kind of hit on her.
Yeah.
They really hit on her. Consider there's only one pizza and no booze. They're all like really up for banging her. And maybe they do, and we don't see it in the film.
Well, they're a bit stuck, aren't they? There's no female mutant turtles.
Oh, God, we don't talk about her, because there is one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. She wasn't that popular. Do you ever see... There was a live-action TV series. I think it lasted like one season, maybe two. Yeah, it was like the last death knell of the original run of the Turtles. And they introduced a female called Venus. She had lady turtle bumps.
She had no arms. She had no arms, but she had tits.
Designed by a man, I'm sure.
Of course, guys, it's a terrible, terrible patriarchy.
We love the patriarchy.
Of course we do. We're part of it.
I'm all up for the day. I'm sorry. I am being sarcastic to any new listeners. I don't hate trans people, and I don't love the patriarchy.
Yeah, it's all comedy. Don't worry. Never take anything we say seriously. So when the Turtles leave April's house, presumably after all gangbanging her, they return to their home to... What?
No, they haven't got cocks.
We don't know that. Maybe they pop out. I don't know what a turtle's dick looks like.
Upside down in the movie, there's nowhere for the cock to come out.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe they just left that out. I don't know. So they find their home sabotaged and Splinter missing. The Turtles are outraged and return to April's home and stay there until they can hear more about Splinter's location. Because she says, look, guys, I'm a news reporter. If anyone's going to find anything out, it's going to be me.
Well, that's a job, isn't it?
No, exactly. I'm not, just it's a good plan. And it keeps all those 4 mutated turtles who know ninjutsu in her apartment.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a story.
Let's face it, she's a cynical news journalist. She's going to keep these guys until her career wanes and then release it all.
Yeah.
So after April's boss is blackmailed by the Stearns, the chief Stern of the police, that's because of his delinquent son, who's one of the guys doing all this horrible, horrible crime, he goes to April's house and he says, look, don't fuck about with Stern. Yeah? Don't mess with Chief Stern. Don't do nothing. Don't say nothing. Be fine. But she does that anyway. She completely ignores that warning and takes another stab at him. Now, back in the apartment, Raph is angry that the turtles are doing nothing to save Splinter, so he goes to the rooftops to vent his anger and do some sweet karate moves on his own.
Yeah.
He does.
That kind of stuff. He then gets jumped by the Foot Clan.
Mm.
And, you know, he's like, he just put up a good fight, doesn't he? He's like, oh, man, what are you going to do? I'm beating half of you guys up.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do, because there's 50 of you showed up.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, he's kicking shit out of him at first. But this scene shocked me as a child because, you know, what happens to him next? His lifeless body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He gets kicked through the rooftop window because they're all like, should we go and get Raph? And they're like, nah, he's a moody bugger. He'll be all right on his own. He does this a lot. And then he's like thrown down through his lifeless body is thrown through a window.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
It is, yeah. I remember that part shocking me as a kid because you don't want to see your heroes getting brutally beaten and thrown through a window.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Yeah. And they did something really like clever as well, like, I suppose, because it's just a suit. When there's a man in it, you know, it looks like a man in a suit. But like, if you take the man out, then it just goes all floppy, like it's dead, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's clearly just like an empty suit. They're like, there's no like movement or weight to it, whether it's just he's out.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, so Casey Jones arrives and he saves the turtles.
Hey!
He does. He gives them time to escape the building, which had been set on fire during the conflict. He fights on the foot and he overhears April's answering machine before the phone line burns out. It's from Pennington firing April from her job. And as a result, they all bugger off to April's old farmhouse in the countryside.
Mm.
And to end this episode, I don't think we're going to call this a two-parter. We're going to end this episode with back in the hideout of Shredder, and the Foot Clan, which, in all fairness, is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Right? You got arcade machines. You got looking skateboard ramps. It's like teenage Ben's wet dream going on.
Children smoking.
Yeah. Hey, you got any cigars or are playing poker? A lot. It's fucking awesome.
Mm.
I'd join the Foot Clan if, there was nothing else going on.
For the skateboarding going on.
And then, of course, the sad thing is that the guy Shredder's appointed to train these kids to be teenage ninjas kind of does go to town on them a little bit and beat the shit out of them now and again, but that's starting to toughen them up.
Hmm.
Isn't it?
Well, you know.
Or is it just child abuse?
It's child abuse.
No, okay. Yeah. All right, then. So we'll call it there. The turtles have gone to April's farmhouse to train and meditate, and we'll carry it on into part 2.
Okie dokie.
All right, so that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with part 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie review. I've been Ben. Thank you very much for listening. Don't drink the Flavor Aid. Don't join a cult unless it's ours.
I've been Gaz. Free Biff Tannen.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force